Alrighty, so you make this bomb turkey, feed everyone, make a stock, but you don't have enough turkey to make a soup. So you can always add in a little bit of chicken. Should be just enough. Kind of reminds me of a show, In Living Color, I used to watch as a kid. There's one character, I think it was played by Keenan Ivory Wayans, and he'd go around and be like, "You have nice breast assists." This is a nice breast assist. It's plump, juicy, beautiful breast assist. So we're going to cook this up. Not much flavor. Just going to add a bit of salt, low heat, and we'll add this into our turkey soup. Turkey soup. I got 4 medium carrots, 1 small, 1 medium onion, about 6 stalks of celery. Don't have much turkey, pound, maybe a pound and a half. So, as I said earlier, I cooked up this beautiful breast assist. I butterflied it to speed up the time. We're basically just going to cut everything up, let it party together in a pot, and turn it on medium heat for about 5 minutes. Then add in spices and stir for a minute. And then stocking. Just going to get into some cutting techniques here. Anytime you're cutting something, keep your knuckles like that, up and down. So if you slice, you're just going to take a little bit of skin off. Going like this, when you slice, oh, you just left a tip. And you also want to make sure you keep your thumb in behind, because it's very easy to slice, and have your thumb just go out and boom. So if something's round, you can always cut it. A safe way to cut a carrot, so you go in through the top, down, the other side, same thing. Now it is flat. These ones are round. I've been cooking for a long time, so I've got pretty good, nice skills on food control. Ooh, jumping carrots. Neat little trick. If you want to know if something's good for your eye, take a look at that. Looks like your eye. Most fruits, generally this is a sign they are good for your eye. So a trick on cutting onions, try not to cry. Cut the end off, cut the end off, cut it in half. And you cut into the onion on an angle, but don't quite go all the way through. You only want to go, if you're looking at the onion, just to about there, just before the end. I'll show you just before I slice into it. And you want to follow the natural onion of the angle, so your knife is going to be rotating a bit. So now I can, in essence, almost pull this apart, so when I dice it, it's not messy, not falling all over the place. I get to the end, and nice and simple. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes, so I'm going to add in a spice blend. It's pretty close to a Tuscan spice blend. There's 1 tablespoon salt, 2 tablespoons of pepper, 2 tablespoons of salt, and then this is what makes it close to a Tuscan spice blend would be 1 tablespoon of basil, 1 tablespoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of rosemary, 1 tablespoon of thyme. Traditionally, there would also be 1 tablespoon of red chili peppers and 1 tablespoon of, oh, brain's not working, I want to say fennel. No, not fennel. Something else. I will have to look that up later because my brain's not working. It's a long day. So add this in, give it a stir. You should know the Tuscan spice blend. I love Italian. So I'm going to let this cook for about a minute. I have about 12 cups of turkey stock made from bone. If it's made from bone, it'll jiggle. A little bit of fat's okay. Too much fat, not okay. You got lots of fat, scoop some excess off. It'll actually coat your tongue and prevent you from tasting all those wonderful flavors. At some point I will, probably tomorrow after the soup cools, I will roast some potatoes and add them in. I want them to have a nice crunchy texture to them and a different flavor than the soup. This way when you're eating the soup, you're going to get different flavors mingling together in your mouth. I will probably add corn or peas as well, depending how I feel. Nice thing with soups, they don't have to be exact, it's not a science. Plus or minus, you can make variations, lots of changes, you can season them all different ways. So I'm going to add that in. I've got my heat on medium. It should take about an hour for this to come to a boil. I will stir it periodically. So if you take a look at this, it's already nice and thick. I'll probably add in a little bit of water, possibly some chicken stock. Why is the color all whacked? Weird. The color's all whacked. And I am back. So an hour's gone by. I've added in 2 more liters of water, 8 cups, 2 small packets of chicken stock, or probably about 2 tablespoons if you're using the condensed concentrated liquid. Just gave it a stir. It was at a nice roaming boil. When I added the 2 liters of hot water, I used hot water. This way it doesn't lower the temperature of the soup too much and come up to a boil quick. At this point, it only needs about another 30 minutes or so. And I'm going to add in frozen vegetables after I shut it off. That way they don't turn to mush. They help cool the soup. And tomorrow I will add in roasted garlic potatoes, just to give it that nice contrast and depth of flavor and kind of make the soup just heartier. Okay, so half hour's gone by. The soup was boiling away. You don't really have to worry too much about a broth soup. Oh, we got little tiny amounts of corn and peas, not quite enough for a full serving, but the nice thing about soup is a good way to get rid of all the lemons that you have. So I'm going to add some corn in, and sorry, I'm going to R. Kelly the soup and I'm going to pee in it. I am peeing in the soup. Yeah. This way the vegetables don't end up soggy, and it'll help cool the soup as well. So I'm just going to give it a quick stir. Tomorrow, I'm just going to add in the roasted potatoes I do. I will cook them and cool them before I add them in. So, food safe, I have 2 hours to cool this down to 60 Fahrenheit, and then an additional 2 hours to cool it down to below 40 Fahrenheit. Get it in the fridge overnight. You don't want to dump it in the fridge right away. It's too hot. It's going to put a bunch of condensation in your fridge, which will make your fridge moldy. It'll also raise the temperature of your fridge and freezer and make everything else in there go bad. You might not realize it at first until you're running for the toilet a few days later. Okay, let's go over some cooking terms here. If I say a clove of garlic, in my world, that's a clove. If I say a piece of garlic, in my world, that's a piece. To the rest of the world, this is a clove. A recipe that calls for 1 clove of garlic or this. Oh, you are seriously misguided. You need help, my child. I have here 2 large red potatoes and a clove of garlic that I will mince up. Potatoes are cut fairly fine. They're going into that wonderful turkey soup we made. So, preheating my oven to 425. 2 tablespoons of butter onto a cookie sheet for about 2 minutes before it gets hot. Now I'm going to put the potatoes on, mix them in the butter. Then I'm going to dice up the garlic. but I'm not going to put the garlic in right away. I'm going to add the garlic in after the potatoes have started caramelizing and browned up. So probably about 10-15 minutes into the cooking process. It should take about 25 to 30 minutes altogether, I'm guessing. And the reason I add garlic in at the end is 3 reasons. 1, the longer garlic is in something, it will cook itself out, so you taste it less. 2, I don't want to taste burnt garlic, and I don't want the texture or chunkies of burnt garlic, which is number 3. It kind of just gets stuck in your tooth, and yeah, the texture is just not pleasant. So before I put them in the oven, I will toss them in the melted butter. Doesn't take long to melt it. You want to get butter around all the potato so they're greasy, just like a Canadian politician. Yeah, look at that. That looks like all of our Canadian politicians in caucus. Look at all those greasy little spuds. So once the oven heats up, we're going to put this in for about 10 to 15 minutes. Stir it after about 10. And when it's close to done, we'll add in the garlic. Garlic only really should be in for about 5 minutes tops. Just long enough to start smelling it and release the aromatic flavor, because I really want that to get into the soup. I also forgot to mention I pushed everything together so the garlic wouldn't burn. So just to show you why I put the garlic together, nice and beautiful, barely cooked, and that caramelized within about 3 minutes. Couple caramelized chunks, they're okay, but a whole bunch of those, might as well be eating sand. And then you lose a lot of the flavor too. So you got this nice aroma coming off it right now. I'm just salivating between my ghetto dinner and this wonderful soup. As you can see by the little brown floating things on top, the potatoes are in. So I'm going to let this hang out, let the flavors chill for mingle together another 18 hours or so. Basically, when I get home from work tomorrow, I'm going to bag this up and freeze it. I want the garlic flavor that is so strong in the potatoes to kind of blend in and harmonize with the soup. So that way you get a good stomach party going on.